He's the guy you remember, even if you don't remember his name. The nervous eyes, the trembling hand, the man who always seems one step away from disaster. Today, we're talking about one of the most essential character actors in film noir history and why his legacy stretches far beyond the shadows. Hello to all the classic people that are returning. I'm glad you're back. I want to welcome any new visitors and let you know there will be spoilers ahead. Today on Classic Movie Review, we are taking on the career of Elisha Cook Jr. Elisha Cook Jr. may not have been a leading man, but he was something far more important. He was the face of vulnerability in a genre built on hard edges. In film noir, where everyone is tough, cynical, and dangerous, Cook specialized in playing the weak link, the guy who talked too much, trusted the wrong people, or simply doesn't stand a chance. What makes him remarkable is not just his presence in the golden age of noir, but his longevity. From the early 1940s through the 1980s, Cook kept showing up in film and television, adapting to changing styles while maintaining the same anxious energy that made him unforgettable. Today, we're counting down 10 of his most essential roles. Number 10, Day of the Outlaw, 1959. In a small role as Larry Tater in this brutal snowbound western, Cook brings his nervous intensity into a different genre. Even surrounded by hardened outlaws, he still feels like the most fragile man in the room. It shows just how portable his screen persona really was, surrounded by actors like Robert Ryan, Burl Ives, Tina Louise, Nehemiah Persoff, Jack Lambert, and Frank Dakova. Number 9, Dark Waters, 1944. Dark Waters, 1944 is a Southern Gothic noir where paranoia runs deep. Cook's performance adds to the film's uneasy atmosphere, reinforcing the sense that danger is always just beneath the surface. Cast with Merle Oberon, Franchitone, Thomas Mitchell, and Rex Ingram, Cook plays Cleve, a creepy little guy that moves around in the shadows and induces foreboding to the character played by Merle Oberon. He's a wild card and ramps the tension upward. Number 8, Don't Bother to Knock, 1952. In Don't Bother to Knock, 1952, Cook had the small role of bellhop Eddie Forbes, working alongside Marilyn Monroe. Cook plays yet another man caught in a web he doesn't fully understand. His presence grounds the film in noir sensibility, even as it leans into psychological thriller territory. Other actors in the film include Richard Widmark and Anne Bancroft. Chicago Confidential, 1957. In Chicago Confidential, 1957, Cook had a small role as Candymouth Duggan. In this later noir entry, Cook fits perfectly into the decaying moral landscape. His character's name alone tells you everything. He's colorful, talkative, and absolutely doomed. Other actors in the film include Brian Keith, Beverly Garland, and Dick Foran. Number 6, I Wake Up Screaming, 1941. I Wake Up Screaming, 1941 is one of the earlier contenders for the first true film noir, and Cook is right there at the beginning. He helps establish a tone of paranoia and suspicion that would define the genre. He appeared alongside Betty Grable, Victor Mature, Carol Landis, and Laird Krieger. Cook plays the role of Harry Williams, a nervous and shy apartment desk manager. I've already said that if Peter Lorre was cast in the role that Laird Krieger played, this movie would rival The Maltese Falcon in 1941 as the greatest film noir ever. Number 5, Phantom Lady, 1944. Phantom Lady, 1944 is a classic example of noir obsession and guilt. Cook plays a small but critical role that reinforces the film's theme of desperation and moral collapse. Cast with Franchitone, Ella Raines, and Thomas Gomez, Cook stands out. This film had one of the greatest film noir directors too, Robert Siodmak. Number 4, The Big Sleep, 1946. In The Big Sleep, 1946, Cook has many scenes with actor Humphrey Bogart. Cook delivers one of his most heartfelt performances. His character's quiet fear and inevitable fate make him one of the most sympathetic figures in this film. Cook was cast along with Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall, Martha Vickers, and Dorothy Malone. As Harry Jones, Cook is a nervous little guy who wants to be a big-time criminal. In a final act of bravery, Cook's character saves a girlfriend that is not worth the effort. Number 3, Born to Kill 1947. Born to Kill 1947 is a savage film noir where Cook again plays the weak man caught among predators. His performance highlights just how dangerous the world of noir can be for those without power. In this movie, Cook is cast alongside Lawrence Tierney, Claire Trevor, Walter Zelzak, and Esther Howard. Cook plays Marty Waterman, toady to murderous psychopath that was played by Lawrence Tierney. The best part of the film is when Esther Howard's character fights off Cook's character with a giant hat pin. This film also has one of the great film noir directors, Robert Wise. Number 2, The Killing 1956. The Killing 1956 is director Stanley Kubrick's early masterpiece. In this film, Cook gives one of his most fully realized performances. George Petty is desperate, manipulated, and tragically human as a perfect encapsulation of Cook's entire career. With an ensemble cast consisting in part of Sterling Hayden, Colleen Gray, Marie Windsor, and Timothy Carey, Cook plays another nervous man that is in over his head. His character is in a relationship with Marie Windsor's character, who is unfaithful. Their relationship puts into motion a set of events that cause death and murder. Number 1, The Maltese Falcon 1941. Maltese Falcon 1941, Cook plays the role of Wilmer, the jittery Gunsel. Cook created one of noir's most iconic supporting characters and again placed him right at the beginning of film noir. He's dangerous, yes, but he's also insecure and constantly trying to prove himself. It's a performance that defines the archetype of the doomed small-time crook. In this masterpiece and contender for first classic film noir, Cook is cast with Humphrey Bogart, Mary Astor, Peter Lorre, and Sidney Greenstreet. Cook once again plays a nervous fellow who is in over his head. He's bashed by the hero and betrayed by his counterparts in crime. This film had one of the great film noir directors, John Huston. Honorable mentions. Stranger on the Third Floor, 1940, is often cited as the first true film noir. Again, Cook's presence places him at the ground floor of the genre. The Blackbird, 1975. In The Blackbird, 1975, as Wilmer Cook, this film completes a full circle moment. Decades later, Cook returned to his most famous role in a comedic sequel to The Maltese Falcon 1941. It's a rare instance of noir reflecting on itself, and Cook is right at the center. Also, his name is a combination of his name and the character he played in The Maltese Falcon 1941. Television legacy. Cook didn't fade away as noir declined. Instead, he transitioned into television, bringing the same nervous energy to a new generation. On Magnum P.I., the first one, he played Francis Icepick Hofstetler, a character who feels like an older, more seasoned version of the men he played in noir. Still dangerous, still unpredictable, but now with a lifetime of experience behind those eyes. And then there's Star Trek, the original series. Cook appeared as Samuel T. Cogley in the episode Court Martial, delivering a performance that feels completely different from his noir work. Instead of a frightened man, he's confident, articulate, and commanding. It's a reminder that Cook had far more range than he was often given credit for. For fans of the original series, it's always a treat to see a noir regular step onto the Enterprise and hold his own in that universe. Elisha Cook Jr. built a career out of playing men who rarely won. But in doing so, he became one of the most essential figures in film noir. He gave the genre its humanity. He showed us the cost of crime, not through hardened detectives or ruthless killers, but through the ordinary man who gets caught in the machinery. From the earliest days of film noir to the television landscape of the 1980s, Cook remained a constant presence, a living thread connecting generations of storytelling. World famous short summary: the face of fear in film noir and the soul that made it human. Leave me a comment and tell me what you think Cook's top role was. Thank you for taking the time to listen. If you want more, be sure to subscribe, hit the like, and ring the bell. Beware the Moors.